Thanks, Jess. Good morning, everyone. Thanks for being here with us today. Like Jess said, my name is Cami Smith. I use the pronouns she, her, and hers, and I am the retail shop sales manager for Lory Dining Services. In addition to that, I was also a student employee of the Lory Student Center for 3 years. I worked down at Cam's lobby shop, so I get the pleasure of, having been here as a student, and then I got to stick around as well. Just before we get started, I want to familiarize everyone with their platform here. If you're unfamiliar with Zoom, if you are able and willing, please turn on your video. It is much easier to talk to people than a bunch of black screens. We understand if there's technical difficulties or reasons you're unable to do so, but if you can, I would really appreciate it. If you have questions or comments, please feel free to utilize the chat box. Jess will monitor that to make sure we get everything. And also feel free to unmute yourself and just comment that way as well. We would love to hear from you. As Emily mentioned in the welcome, we do want to recognize the principles of community. Please make sure that you are keeping those in mind while we interact with one another during this session. And remember, those are inclusion, integrity, respect, service, and social justice. So just keep those in mind as we interact with one another today. So the name of this session is Connecting Your LSC Job Skills to Future Employment. So, an overview of this session, we'll talk about the objective. We'll talk about some different jobs around LSC and the skills that they have in common. We'll talk about some of the top desired skills by employers today. We'll have time for you guys to discuss with each other. We'll have some time for questions, and then I'll provide some additional resources for you if you need them. So ideally, we want you to think about these jobs differently. When I do exit interviews every year, most often I ask employees what they've gained, and they say grocery money, beer money, and friends, which is all well and good, but you do gain more than that working on campus. The goal here is for you to reframe how you view your job and get you to critically think about the skills you're gaining, strengthening, and utilizing through employment at the Lory Student Center. So some of the jobs here in the Student Center, we've got all types of things. We've got Ramskeller, the BACC, Collab, Cam's Hobby Shop, Morgan's Grind, EPO, Slice, RDS, bookstore, campus activities, and so many more. I would love to have some people up here and say what their jobs are, or even throw them in the chat. That would be great as well. So just have at it. Where do you guys all work? EPO, yes, event planning. Where else do we have? Yep, I'm seeing, lots of places. Career Center, Slice, Bagel Place, ASCSU.
Morgan's Grind, Career Center, yeah. LC Arts, Returning Sorority Life, Slice, whoop whoop, Late Street Market, Info Data.
Look at all these, wonderful, great. I'm so happy to see people from so many different avenues in the Student Center. This is great. Well, thanks for sharing, everyone. I appreciate it. Talking about some, if I can get my thing, there we go. Just talking about some of the skills you gain as an employee. I want to reference the difference between transferable skills and essential skills. So a lot of times you'll hear transferable skills described as hard skills, which is going to be job-specific knowledge and abilities. They used to be hard, but really they're transferable skills. These are the skills that are very job-specific that you would take to a future position doing something similar. Now, essential skills that have previously been called soft, that's very misleading, because I would argue that these essential skills are almost more important and difficult to acquire and hone in. These are going to be like interpersonal people skills that enable you to interact effectively with other people. And often these are the skills that we are learning through student employment. I've got a video, and like I said, I just want to reference that this video is a little dated, so it does refer to them as hard and soft as opposed to transferable and essential, but we will play that here shortly.
When it comes to work skills, they can be broken down into two types: hard skills and soft skills. They're pretty different from one another, but both are necessary to be successful on the job. Let's take a look at the differences between the two. Hard skills are concrete skills that are specific to your job and are required for you to actually do your work. For example, if you're a chef, cooking would be a hard skill. Or if you're a computer programmer, coding would be an example. Soft skills, on the other hand, are interpersonal or people skills that can be used in every job. These include communication, teamwork, and adaptability. Hard skills are generally learned through school, training, or previous work experience. They're more objective, meaning that once you've learned the information or task, you would then possess that skill. Soft skills are more difficult to develop. You'll need to practice them over time in the real world with others. They come naturally to some people, while others may not have such an easy time with them. Hard skills are easy to measure. Employers can get a good idea of your hard skills by looking at your education, previous experience, and certifications. Soft skills are harder to evaluate. They can't really be communicated well through your cover letter or resume. Instead, employers usually have to wait until an interview or your first few weeks on the job to get a good idea of your soft skills. Despite their differences, you'll need both hard and soft skills if you want to become more hireable or be successful in your current job.
Goodwill Community Foundation, creating opportunities for a better life.
Perfect. So I would love it if
When
we
it comes to
could
work skills,
break into some breakout groups here. And I would love for you to, within your groups, talk about some of those hard job specific skills and more essential skills that you gain in your current position, just so we can kind of get the juices flowing there.
Okay, I'm going to open all the rooms, so you should get a message to join right now. Cami, how much time would you like them to be in the breakout rooms?
Let's give them 5 minutes, and if everybody could have like a spokesperson from their group, so when we come back all together, we can share a little bit from each of those groups. That would be great.
Okay, perfect. Okay, and those rooms are opening. Sorry, I forgot that it would put you into a room too. So I was like, get her out of there. Unless if you, oh, you're on mute.
Always.
You're fine.
No, that's funny. You're a whiz, man. I can't do any of this stuff on Zoom. That's impressive.
Excuse me.
Bless you.
Oh, thank you. Hello.
Hey, so I was put in group 10, but there was nobody else in there. Is there a way to double check where Lim is?
Yeah.
They're the consumer.
Is it LIM?
I believe so.
Okay. Or is it LM Martinez?
Yes.
Okay, so they're in room 2, so I will move you to that one.
Perfect. Thank you.
Yes. And I will do that. I'll make sure for the next time we do a breakout session.
Perfect.
Okay, thanks. Okay. Making sure. Yep. Okay. Perfect. Did someone's in the waiting room. Okay. Hi, Heather. We just put people in breakout rooms, and they're sharing where they work in the Lory Student Center and skills that they use within that. So I'm just going to move you to a room. So let me put you in room 10. So if you want to accept that invite, and then you can just introduce. There she goes. Dude, you got a lot of people in here. There's like 60 people.
Yeah, and when I did this couple years ago, the first session was great. We were in the CSU chambers, which was my first time in there. Like that was super fun. There was a bunch of people. And the second session we did it, we had 3.
Oh. Yeah, no, it looks awesome. And just glancing, just because I don't recognize a lot of the names, it looks like it's probably almost all students, I would say.
That's awesome. I saw a lot of dining services kids, which is surprising because usually we can't pay them to attend these things. So
okay. That you can't pay them?
Well, we do pay them, but we tell them that and they still are like, nah, it's Sunday morning.
Oh, okay. Yeah, for us, we were like, you have to go. This is mandatory.
Well, and they get paid. You guys pay them to go as well?
Yeah. Well, ASCSU, the front desk staff members are hourly, but the rest of the positions, like Christian, the president, is exempt actually. And so we didn't make it mandatory for them, but they like strongly encouraged it. So
right. You really went hiking yesterday?
Yeah. I currently have COVID and I needed to get out of the house. So I was like, I need to, yeah.
How are your symptoms? You feeling all right?
Yeah, I'm fine. Sorry, I'm just messaging our ASCSU group. Yeah, no, so it sucks because I'm supposed to go to Israel tomorrow and it's probably not going to happen because of this. Yeah. So on Monday, I like had a little bit of a tickle. And so I was on campus because I volunteered for the MLK March. And so after, like, I listened to the speaker just from my office because I was like, even if it's like possible, I just whatever. So I went and got a saliva test. And then I took a test at home and it was negative. So I was like, oh, that's totally fine. Well, then the saliva test came back Wednesday and it was positive. And I was like, shit. Right? But then I wanted to double check just because I know they used to do like the bulk testing, or whatever, but I guess now they've changed it where they actually can get you to the individual. But I felt like fine for the most part. I just had like the tickle until like Friday morning. I woke up and was congested. So I went to Associates in Family Medicine, like in the health network, and I just took a test because, or a PCR test which very likely going to have to cancel my trip tomorrow unless if I somehow can get a negative test tomorrow. But I needed that for insurance. So.
Right. How many days do you think you could test negative tomorrow?
They say the reason why they say like when you have COVID that to not get tested for 3 months is because you could still show positive for 3 months. And the PCR is like really sensitive. And so, and I need to figure out, I was just talking to my boyfriend and he said, I didn't think about this, that I scheduled a test for tomorrow morning because my flight's not till the afternoon. And he's like, will you get your results back? And I was like, yeah, I think so. But that might be like the rapid test, which isn't as sensitive. So I'd hate to get a negative on that and then fly to Israel and then get a positive there and then have to quarantine. That was just why. especially because I'm only going for, so it's been 6 minutes. Should I just say, like, they'll have 60 seconds. Should I give them another minute or so? A lot of the groups have 60. Okay, I'll just say 1 more minute.
Yeah, we're back together soon. Make sure there's a.
Oh. Do not know what just happened. Hi, Pedro. 1 more minute is what I'm going to say. But yeah, so anyways, that's where I'm at with that. Okay, and I'll just close the room because they'll say I have 60 seconds and I'm going to figure out what just exploded behind me.
Welcome back, everyone, as we're starting to get you all back in here. Perfect. We'll give everybody a couple minutes just to get logged back in, and then we'll reach out to those groups and have that spokesperson tell us a little bit about what you guys talked about.
Yeah, it looks like there's still about 5 rooms that are in there and haven't joined back to the main room yet. So in ASCSU, I never know what I'm going to walk into. So it could be if we're planning an event and rooms had to change for the last minute, or maybe a student is walking into the office and has a great idea for a piece of legislation that they would like to present, trying to get people paid for different programs that we do. So there's always lots of different things going on. I even think of one specific example for problem solving. If any of you were at the very first football game, ASCSU helps plan the tailgating for that, the student tailgating. And I think it was the very first one. And we had a huge thunderstorm and there was lightning. People were like, had gone into the stadium, had to leave the stadium, or there's a lot going on. So just trying to problem solve in that moment of how are we keeping everyone safe? How are we making sure people are being looked after in the middle of a thunderstorm? So that would be one example that comes to mind.
Yeah, absolutely. Thanks for sharing. As Jess was talking, I thought of one, something in your job that you don't actively think is these, top skills, but it is like, so I don't know if any of you have ever walked by Cam's Lobby Shop. We have like a whiteboard or a chalkboard out front, and we always try to draw something fun on there to get people's attention. A lot of times it's some cartoon like the Rugrats or Courage the Cowardly Dog. I think right now we have some characters from Adventure Time on there. And that's just, I like to draw, so it's just something fun to do, but really it's marketing. We are promoting our products, we're selling things, we're grabbing your attention. Like that's just one example of how, things that you do in your job that you don't really think about, you're actually working on your marketing skills, which is only going to help you in the future. So next, I know how much you all love breakout rooms. We're going to put you back in some breakout rooms. And this time I'd love for you to, really put words, like descriptive words to some of those tasks that you do in your job. So, drawing on my whiteboard is how I work on marketing. So start thinking about some of those job specific things you do a little bit differently. And then when we come back together, we'll share some of those as well. And we'll give you about 5 minutes.
And I'm going to put you all in the same groups that you were just in. Here they are. And for those of you that join later, I'll put you in a room right now as well. I did it again.
Always with the meeting. Yeah, I know. I just turned off my camera really quick, like waiting for them to talk to each other.
Cool. Yeah, so I think you have 61 people in this session, including us. Yeah.
It's awesome.
People just keep joining and no one's leaving. So that's good.
I know. I saw that. I'm like, you're 30 minutes in and you're just now joining. But all right, whatever.
Yeah, and I'll make sure probably around 10:45 or so, I'll put in the attendance link in the chat for everyone. So
perfect. Great.
But yeah, so I need to figure out I need to call UC Health right after this session and see the test that I signed up for, which one it is, and when I can get, how soon I can get the results back, I guess.
Right.
Yeah.
What fell? What broke? What exploded?
It was so Graham has like a mini fridge over here, so it's just like, oh well, you won't be able to see it because of my Zoom background. Whatever, it's a mini fridge. You know what a mini fridge looks like, and
I do.
nice. And there was a can of Coke in there that exploded, and it like exploded because it was frozen, and it like actually even like blew the door open.
That's funny. I think I would like have peed my pants if that had happened.
I was just like, what the heck is going on?
Maybe explosion in my house.
Yeah. I'm gonna run and grab more coffee really quick. I'll be right back.
Sounds good to me.
They're all in breakout rooms, but I can help clean it up.
I guess we know what too cold is.
I know.
Quick, drink all these beers.
Yeah, hey. Perfect. Before they explode, somebody's got to do it.
Hi. What are you doing?
So your fridge is freezing stuff and exploding it?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, that's pretty awesome. Wow.
Make a float. Make a root beer float. A float.
Root beer float. Good idea. Oh, zero sugar. What do we even have this?
That's actually from, for some reason, I don't know who brought it. Someone brought a case of Coke Zero for my birthday. And I thought it was tea because he drinks Coke Zero and he said it was him. So I brought him a remainder of most of the case, but not every can.
So, Cami, what was your breakout session about?
No, they're in like breakout rooms.
Oh, breakout
Yeah,
rooms.
Yeah.
Yeah, Rob, they're supposed to reframe some of their job skills right now. So instead of saying like, you have a blanket on too.
Yeah, it's cool. I'm in like our sunroom and I forgot to turn the heat. Did someone just join the waiting room?
You guys are cold in here?
Yeah. Anyway, so I forgot to join it. I forgot. Doesn't look like anyone's in the way. Oh yeah, maybe. Oh, it's Bailey.
That's crazy.
Hey Bailey.
This sucker really exploded.
I know, right? Bailey, what room are you in? Bailey?
Sorry.
You're fine.
I accidentally got dropped out of my breakout room.
Okay, which one were you in? Do you remember, or who was with you?
I know there was Lucinia was in my group. That's all I can remember.
No, that's fine. Sonia was in. Okay, I'm gonna put you back in room 8. Sabrina, Shelby, it looks like, and Taya, maybe.
Yes. Perfect.
Okay. Yeah, sweet tapestry or whatever that was.
Thanks.
Okay, I'll move you right now.
Can we do this later, or are you good?
Huh? Cami will mainly be talking, but I might talk a little bit. So
About what? What's up?
Graham started picking up the Coke bottle that exploded, and he's like, "Can I do it here later?" And I was like, "Well, I won't be talking too much. This is yours."
I'll just be listening intently into Cami.
Yes.
Hey, there you go. I'm going to teach you how to reframe how you think about your student-centered job.
Excellent. Just what I was looking for.
How's your weekend been going?
Good. I spent way too much of it in Old Town.
Oh, okay. Graham almost went there last night.
I went to matchups last night, played a bunch of pool.
Nice.
It's actually really fun. But yeah, it's a weird vibe if you haven't been to matchups recently.
Yeah, I went probably like a year ago, and yeah, it's a pretty divey bar.
It really is.
That's fun though to play pool.
I like that.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll close the room so they have 60 seconds.
Excellent.
Wow.
Welcome back, everyone. Welcome. Again, choose it could be the same spokesperson or a different one, up to you all. I see John's on here. I think John was there that first game where we were running around trying to figure out what was going on with the tailgate and all the stuff was soaked. Weren't you there, John, I think?
I was. That was fun. Probably actually wasn't the most confusing tailgate though. There was a couple others that were up there.
If you all didn't know, John also moonlights as a trivia host. He had a very successful trivia with, I think, about 60 people the other night. So if you ever need an MC for trivia, John is your person.
Wait, where at?
Last time it was at Ramskeller. Next time is yet to be determined, but also probably at Ramskeller. I'll put info out occasionally if that ever actually happens.
Dude, I'm getting a whole Career Center crew showing up just for you.
All right, Eric, I appreciate you, buddy.
I got you. We'll be there.
John, I do have a bone to pick with you about this trivia. I was there and you guys said there's 2 pools at CSU and there's actually 3.
Where's the third?
It is in South College. It's the like gymnasium over by the track. It's the old gym. I'm just saying, I see little kids in and out of that pool all the time. So
All right. I was told by Google there were only 2 pools. I did say that. I'm sorry if you got that wrong and you lost. I'm gonna blame Google on this one.
I forget.
Well, did you count? Did you count the one that used to be in Ammons Hall that they then had to put concrete?
Did not, because that's haunted and creepy.
Okay. Yeah, for those of you that don't know, Ammons Hall used to be for like women only, like dormitory, and they did have a pool in there, but they filled it in with concrete later on.
Sad. So sad. All right, I think we have everybody back now. So I would love to hear from some of these groups. How did you spice up your job description? How did you reframe some of those skills?
I can start. So a lot of my group was very focused on customer facing, and a lot of us weren't. But we could all talk about how we interacted with customers on a level. For example, Benjamin works on the back end of Handshake, yet he occasionally has to deal with customers. So he was able to express how he was able to quickly manage these conflicts in a timely manner that provided feedback to the people who got like their job request completely rejected, and they still felt heard, they still learned things, and they weren't really mad about it. And that was something a lot of us do in our jobs, is providing that feedback that isn't necessarily positive, to make it sound more positive. Like kind of spiced it up a little bit by saying like managed conflicts within timely manners and professional emails, something like that. But
yeah, absolutely. I think I'm hearing professionalism, I'm hearing communication, problem solving, troubleshooting, all that is excellent. Yeah, thanks for sharing. We get some other groups, some volunteers, just a couple more.
Talked about the importance of, we talked kind of just about like customer service in general. We didn't really get to the part of like spicing up our resume and all that, but just talking about like different ways you had to deal with people, and then so you kind of say conflict management, conflict negotiation, bring up conflict mediation, negotiation, stuff like that. Just kind of the basics. We never really got to the like actual spicy part, like the making it interesting.
That's okay. We're glad that you guys are talking to each other. Your conversations are too enthralling. Couldn't do it. It's fine. We have one more group share, maybe.
Our group with like collab and those working in Slice and me in event planning, we were super like all our different tasks were definitely attention to detail oriented. And then one of our members in RAM events is very like heavy on the marketing side with all their events and everything. So it's different skills, but they kind of like boil down to the same type of scenario.
Awesome. Thanks for sharing. All right. So now we want to open it up. If anybody has any questions or anything they want to add, that would be great. And then I know Jess will put the link in the chat for the attendance form for you to fill out. And I have some additional resources for you as well, but I'd love to open it up for any questions or comments anyone might have. You can also throw your questions in the chat if you would prefer that, and we'll keep an eye on that as well.
I can't seem to find that attendance you were talking about.
I have not put it in the chat yet. I want people just to have time to ask their questions, but I'll put it in the chat in just a minute. So I have a question for you all, is as you were in these breakout rooms and starting to reframe your positions or skills that you've used, have you all recently looked at your resume to update the skills that you have in your current role? And I know we have a lot of, at least a couple of people here from the Career Center. Have you utilized the Career Center at all in looking up your skills and responsibilities and how you might reflect them in your resume, or kind of what that process has been for you? I think I asked like 3 questions in one, but hopefully you get the gist of what I was asking.
Well, as someone from the Career Center, I think we are all kind of shaking our heads that we have not updated our resume since we got hired, which is not good. But we are still here to offer advice for anyone who is, coaches don't play. No, I'm kidding. You guys are always welcome to come by and talk to us. We love doing this stuff. I'm not particularly great at it. I'll just guide you to someone, but always come by.
Thank you for that. Oh, John, you go. And then also if you could share what is the current state for this semester for the Career Center in terms of, can you just drop in to do your resume? Is it like, what are the options, and like talking with people? And also whatever you were going to share, John.
I guess I could answer both these questions. Career Center is currently accepting drop-ins and appointments. Drop-in hours are from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. every day. We're open Monday through Friday. Eric is overly honest. I've updated my resume, it's not good. I should go to the Career Center services. They're completely free to use. Yeah. I updated it though, kind of.
I see in the chat, some people have like required to update because of your classes that you're in. Other people are like, it's been a while. I know for me, I'm not good at consistently updating my resume unless if I'm applying for a new job. And so I don't know if anyone has tips of trying to keep up with updating your resume when it's not required. I see Gabrielle might have their hand raised. If you wanted to share.
Yeah, I actually had a quick question about LinkedIn and like how you would suggest, like one of my classes is requiring that I go and I get a certain amount of like followers / I'm following people. Like, how would you suggest going about who to look at, and like how do you get that situation to expand?
Yeah, so I can talk on that a little bit. I think a good place to start with LinkedIn and like who to follow are some of your teachers. So I follow a lot of my old teachers on LinkedIn just because those were all topics I was passionate about or things I cared about. So I follow to see like if they repost papers they're working on or things like that. A lot of the universities departments have LinkedIn pages. You can coworkers, friends, other people that you'll see here in like this session, like those are all great people to follow. And then if there's like companies that you are interested in, you follow those companies, and then maybe people who work at those companies, I think is a good place to start when it comes to like building your following and who you follow on your LinkedIn.
Great question. Corey, I know you originally posted about LinkedIn. Did you have anything to add?
Not much. I mean, I was posting just a lot of the things that would be really helpful for recruiters and people to look at your profile for. And I was just looking at different skills I could probably put up there, including some of the hard skills that you guys were mentioning earlier. But mostly I was just trying to update it for my, previous jobs I had put down the last, 6 months. And so I was making sure that that was all kept up. And yeah, it was your talk about the resumes, and that reminded me of LinkedIn.
If you will notice, I put some additional resources up there. It is a link to the Career Center's website. I hope I got that link correct. But they have lots of helpful information on there when it comes to job skills and things like that. You know, they do have a blog. There's the links to Handshake, which is the job posting website, and they offer resume help, which I highly recommend you take advantage of, because they are pros, and so they can definitely help and help you with that process.
And in case you're maybe on your phone and it's harder to see what the chat said, Annie said that you can have your resume reviewed virtually before the career fair. And also check out Resume Rush on February 4th and 7th. So coming up here in February 4th is next Friday already, I think. So, and then Sabrina put, there's virtual drop-ins. You can also make longer appointments online through Handshake. And after January 31st, drop-ins are from 10 to 2. I think that was also what John had shared as well. And then Sabrina had also put a link to lots of great resources from the Career Center, including your resume as well. So thank you all for sharing that. That's helpful.
Yes, definitely.
Yeah. So I'll put the attendance in the chat right now, and then Cami and I will hang out and continue. If you all have questions or perspectives that you want to share, definitely feel free to add those. So just one.